telling you, Lubert, it was another really good year for the Blue Man.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I kind of thought last year was a fluke, but no. Turns out they're done waiting 5 years to release a bad product. Now they're just going to release a bunch of products with a variety of quality. As Sonic should be.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we aren't looking at the year of the Hedgehog anymore, but the decade of the Hedgehog.
Well, one can only hope.
On April 1st, they took the next bold step in the series by killing the titular character off. I remember thinking it would be more funny if they actually had killed him off and just made this game non-canon, but honestly it being canon does make for a pretty likable project. This is probably the best the characters have been written in a game for a while, which is saying something since I said that about Frontiers a year ago. I think this just takes it one step further. Amy and Tails carry this game very well, and I'm happy to say it. It's also nice to see some pair-ups we don't normally see, like Blaze and Rouge. Outside of IDW, the last time we saw a lot of these guys together was Forces, which didn't really utilize their personalities all that well. Any line from them was pretty much interchangeable. While in this game, each character feels like themselves again, with some new traits being added, like Shadow actually liking Amy, something that I guess has been touched upon ever so slightly in previous games, but they've got a pretty cute dynamic in this game. I like it, and you better believe the internet liked it too. I also really like how there's a real mystery to solve. Like, one of the characters did do it, and you do get to slowly uncover who it was as the game goes on, and the character they picked as the killer wouldn't have been my first guess. There is a bigger climax at the end, where they start to bring in actual Sonic villains, but them wrapping up the initial mystery first was a good call in my opinion. It'd be pretty lame to investigate every single character on the train only for it to end with none of them are guilty. It was Eggman the whole time. What else is there? Artwork is great. It's unlike any previous game and has created yet another style that artists will use to draw these characters or their own OCs. Like the battle style, classic style, Pender style, now there's the Master style. This new art style matches the game's detective theme really well. The character you get to name and play the game through makes you feel a lot more immersed than what Forces was able to do with the fan character. Seeing Sage and Metal together was everything I wanted to see after Frontiers ended. Oh, and how about the fact that this was free? I remember seeing that and assuming it'd be like 10 to 20 minutes long, but no, you get like a 2-hour game out of this. One that's replayable too to see what dialogue you get from different responses. As far as I'm concerned, this game is eligible for its own playthrough and last call on the channel, so one day we'll go into more detail. For now, what I'll say, it was an all-around nice gesture. A lot of love went into it, and given out for free when they could have probably reasonably charged $5 to $10 for it was a really nice way to show some good grace with the fan base. It also showed how good of a sense of humor Sonic Team can have. I'm sure for a lot of fans it was their favorite Sonic-related release this year.
You really do talk about Sonic a lot, Uncle Spiny.
I mean, I guess. I talk about other things too, though.
Yeah, like what?
Like, Howard Hamlin and Dick Figures.
What?
It's a web series, shut up.
Well, I guess it's time for me to go.
Well, before you leave, just, consider it.
Yeah, I don't know, Uncle Spiny.
I'm telling you that my New Year's party is going to be a lot better than your Uncle Spicy's. You just need to stop thinking of Spicy's house as a mansion, and mine as a dumpster.
It's just after last time.
Well, it won't be like last time. Wow, he does not look happy to see me.
I think he's still a little frustrated about the Piranha Brothers incident.
Which was Matt's fault. How do your siblings feel about me?
Not well.
Oh, well, what about you? What do you think of your Uncle Spiny?
I think you have flaws, but...
Well, everybody has flaws, Lou. I mean, you don't think your father has flaws? Or your brother and sister? I mean, you've definitely got flaws. I mean, look at you.
I think I'm overall just uncomfortable being around you.
Stupid Spicy. Throwing a New Year's party the same night I wanted to do one.
Jestem prawie pewien, że rzucił jednego pierwszy.
Well, this is how we learn who our true friends are, Gorky. I know Spicy has his manipulative tricks, but he can't compete with a humble party being thrown by a guy with a heart of gold.
Czyż nie zostaliśmy oboje zaproszeni na imprezę u Spicy? W pewnym sensie zabierasz mnie ze sobą.
Shut the fuck up, Gorky. Don't talk in my party. Nobody understands what you're saying but me. Oh yeah, did you hear that Season 3 of Sonic Prime is getting released early 2024? Surprisingly early. I mean, it's just missing the cutoff to be included in the Year of the Hedgehog video. Still, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see all the cool places our heroes travel to. As for Season 2... Well, the internet's opinion has really shifted on this one, hasn't it? There was a notable number of people turning on the show after its second season, with a lot of them calling it too childish, and for that I guess it's more childish than some of the other Sonic shows. Adventures and Boom had a little bit more of a comedic edge to them, while X and ZAM had darker storylines, but at the end of the day I wouldn't say it's significantly more childish than those other shows. I see where people are coming from a little bit, but I think it's being blown out of proportion. Now I did honestly find that one tweet that went viral of it being compared to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse funny, but to everyone who made the same joke afterwards, I think you're pretty lame. You're actively seeking out footage of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse so you can repeat someone else's joke. Lame. Do not criticize someone for watching a baby show when you are also watching a baby show to find footage that you can use to make fun of other people watching their baby show. The original tweet at the very least was the first to make the joke and probably didn't realize it was going to blow up. Maybe I'm overreacting a bit. I mean, these are people who are just trying to be funny. You failed horribly, but you're not a bad person for doing it or anything. I don't know. Sonic Prime is fine. I don't love it anymore either, but it's fine. Getting angry at people for not liking it and making fun of people who do like it is equally stupid to me. I'm never really going to be down for either mindset. I'm losing interest a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I think the show gets very repetitive as every time Sonic switches back to different realities, those versions of his friends no longer trust him. That plot point got old really fast and they keep doing it. I felt like Nine and Jungle Amy were the only two that put any form of trust into Sonic's character. Those two, plus Sonic and Shadow, are really the only main characters I'm getting that much enjoyment out of. I really liked the premiere and the finale. The stuff with Sonic and Shadow was neat, and I really liked the conflict between Sonic and Nine at the end. This feels very much like what Lost World was trying to do, but it executed it much better. Not just with it being Sonic and Tails fighting, I still think Archie handled that one the best, but also in terms of the resentment coming from Sonic's negligence. Him acting without taking a second to think or listen to what his team members have to say. Lost World attempted this and almost got somewhere with it, but not only copped out at the last second, but it also had some pretty terrible dialogue in their attempts to do so.
You trust Eggman more. Do you know how much that bites?
I do trust you, Tails, but the whole world's in danger because I did something stupid. Do you know how much that bites?
Actually, nothing bites more than having to listen to this dreadful conversation.
Eggman, you bite!
Prime Season 2 I think does a good job with this. I think it especially works when you put into consideration that Sonic created the Shatterverse. Tails was already getting sick of Sonic's shit, but he ultimately cared about his friend enough and understood his intentions enough to look past that. When the Shatterverse split up each character's traits into different beings, we get a version of Tails who carries those feelings of resentment without some of Tails' more forgiven traits, as those were probably given to a different version of him, resulting in a Tails that is way more okay with telling Sonic to fuck off. Which version of Tails got his more forgiven traits? I don't know. I think the other versions of these characters could have been written a little better. They definitely could have explored the emotion of these different variants more. Like one version of Tails could be smart and cold, while the other could be friendly but focus more on Tails' sense of fun, which results in a lazier version of him. Mangy and Sails don't really pull this off, at least I don't see how they do. Maybe someone could make an argument for it, but I think it's something that could have ultimately been conveyed better. Especially with how many episodes there are where just nothing's happening. The Pirate Knuckles isn't my favorite, but he at least shows off the more dickish side of Knuckles. Jungle Knuckles shows off the more dim-witted side, and New York City Knuckles shows off the more heroic side. I don't really feel like many of the other characters get the same treatment. The three Amy's are all fun characters, but they all act pretty similar to one another. The Pirate Amy just being a little bit more lighthearted. Honestly, I'm not into the pirate world at all. I think the pirate versions of the characters are pretty bland, and the environment isn't that great either. It's just there's water everywhere. Oh fuck, I'm turning into IGN. But we spend so much time here. The jungle world is a little better, but still not engaged enough for multiple episodes of the show. New York City is definitely the best setting, and it's where 9 comes from, which I would say is a highlight of the show. But honestly, I wish we had more dimensions to explore in this world. You can only switch between water, jungle, and city so many times before it gets stale. Everything that happened in the middle of the season was pretty forgettable for me. It feels like we're really stretching the story out longer than it needed to. I did enjoy the scenes with Chaos Sonic, but a lot of that came from Devin Mack, who I love as Sonic, by the way. I kinda see where people are less enthusiastic about this version of the character. Granted, I for the most part still like him, but I wouldn't even say a percentage of that is on Devin Mack. I love this guy. He's done voices and things that I've grown up loving, from animes to viral videos. One of my favorite characters of him, and one that clearly means a lot to him as well, is Raccoon from Tome. And I see what you're doing there, Mac. Chaos Sonic sounds very similar to Raccoon.
The name is Chaos Sonic, like regular Sonic, but with twice the charm and none of the failure.
I'm what you call the bad guy. My hobbies include long walks on the beach, taking things, and breaking things.
There's a few differences for sure, it's not a complete copy and paste, but I have a feeling he was thinking about this little guy when recording the season, and I'm all for it. They both serve a very similar purpose of not only defeating our heroes, but irritating the hell out of them while doing so. I think Devin Mack has a voice that matches Sonic's energy. Really enjoy all the current Sonics though. Roger Craig Smith is great, and so is Ben Schwartz. They all have a different approach, and don't get me wrong, I've got my preferences, but I think they all have it in them. Roger Craig Smith playing a more jokey, but also more aged and experienced Sonic, Ben Schwartz coming off as more of a kid who's just excited to experience the world, and Devin Mack doing something more in the middle. I think any accusation that the voice is too childish comes from the script, because I think he delivers the cockiness of the character very well, as well as the more Karen side of the character. I really like the voice work from both him and Ashley Ball during Sonic and Nine's final interaction of the season. I would agree that Prime is far from perfect, but I think a lot of that just comes from the fact that they did not need to be 23 episodes long, which it will be once the third part comes out. I mean, it was supposed to be 24 episodes, but technically it's only 23 because the first one was the size of 2 episodes. Yeah, I think that threw everybody off, myself included. I'd say less than half of the season felt like it was really necessary, but there were some really solid moments that makes me question the backlash just a bit. After watching my fair share of Sonic X, I really find it strange that some people will defend that show while also attacking this one. I wonder how much I just shook the nest by saying that. Yeah, it's not perfect, I wouldn't go as far as to call it the best show anymore, but I like it still. There's still good things about it. I just think it could have benefited from a shorter runtime, or exploring the characters a little better, with some of that extra time. Like I said, there's just way too much of the characters feeling like they've been betrayed by Sonic. Like, we jump back and forth to different worlds of all the characters just suddenly resetting their opinion on him, and I find that exceptionally annoying. Still, a lot of stuff was done well, and I think it should get credit for that. This seriously can't be the turn-up to my New Year's party.
Jest już 10:00. Nie sądzę, żeby ktokolwiek jeszcze się pojawił.
Ah, don't you worry. My girlfriend is showing up in a few. This party will have 4 attendees then.
Skąd znasz tego gościa?
Oh, we met in a public restroom.
Yes, and what a glorious meetup of the minds it was.
He peed for 13 minutes straight, it was weird.
What is it that you were telling me about that day? Something about Awesome Possum?
Sonic, but close enough.
Oh, that's right. Well, what has that little rodent for justice been up to lately?
Well, he got another 2D platformer. That was certainly something. Sonic Superstars feels like it did a speedrun of the public reaction. It got a trailer right away with no prior announcement. The game was released only months after the trailer, people talked about it for a week or two, and then things got really quiet. Which is surprising, it's another classic Sonic game that really nailed the way classic Sonic is supposed to control. It made Tails, Knuckles, and Amy playable, along with a new character that people responded to very positively. It brought back a classic Sonic villain with Fang, which anyone who knows me would know I was very excited about. I think the reason the game ran out of steam so quick with its public reaction is because it's not quite like a classic Sonic game. With both the 3D artwork, the weird layouts to some of the stages, the focus on co-op, and the Chaos Emeralds all having a unique ability, this game feels less like a mainline game and something more equivalent to the Rush or Advance games, which are good games, but just never the first games that are going to come to mind when Sonic gets mentioned. They're just different enough from the mainline games to kind of be their own category. Sure, Sonic fans love Blaze. I sometimes feel like I see more fan art of her than the Blue Man himself just scrolling through Twitter, but I think we could all agree that Rush isn't remembered by everyone, while games like Mania or Generations are more in the public eye even all these years later. I think that's what's happening with Sonic Superstars. It's going to have its fans, there's going to be people drawing Trip as long as the series still exists. It'll probably get acknowledged as an unappreciated classic by people in the future, but it's not the next Mania. Games like Frontiers or even Forces are probably going to be more recognizable, just because they're in the main line. But hey, maybe I'm completely wrong about that, that's just the impression I get from what I've seen during its first year. So how do I feel about the game? It's fun. I don't think it's better than Mania 3 or 2. CD maybe, I don't know, CD might just be above it for the music alone. It is better than Sonic 1. Playing on single player mode is pretty fun. I don't mind the bosses as much as a lot of other people seem to, minus the Fang fight and the Eggman fight. I think both of these eat up way too much time. Oh, and I am talking about the ones in the main game and not the post game. I've never collected all the emeralds in this game. It's a fun game, but not one I'm dying to 100%. Hell, even when I cover this game for the channel, I don't know if I will do that because I already recorded that series, and it's coming pretty soon actually. However, I did the co-op mode with my friend Stuart, and well, I already shared a little bit of what that was like.
Yeah, why not? There's multiple, like, little fireflies or butterflies or whatever. Where are we going?
You couldn't give me 5 seconds to catch up. I was right behind him, and then it said, "Oh, you're off screen." And now I've been away for a while and it's not letting me respawn. Oh my god,
Where did I go?
What the fuck is this? Yeah, co-op is unplayable. I mean, it's really shitty. I think with co-op on, it's up there as one of the worst games in the entire series. It just does not function well at all. I'll go into more detail once I get to the last call, but just to give some examples, the camera doesn't work at all. I started drowning while I was on the surface, and we died in a cutscene that we had zero control over. I love the game's animations. I like that they're really embracing older characters like Fang. I think the game's controls are great. I think the levels vary in quality, but a lot of them are very enjoyable. Overall, there's a lot to appreciate. I think if they made a sequel where they maybe tried to stylize the game a bit more and focus more on making a fun single-player experience rather than even bothering with the co-op again, they will have something pretty outstanding. From where it stands right now, it's a good Sonic game. Just not a great one, but I'll take a good Sonic game any day.
Ah, that must be her. Hello, sweetie.
Hello, Ed. Oh dear God, not him. Gorky, do you have a history with this girl? No, I have history with you, you fuck!
Ah, so that's the voice we're going with for you?
Do you seriously not remember me? We used to date!
Woa, spójrz na siebie, Spiny. Szczerze mówiąc, można zrobić to lepiej.
I don't remember that at all. You and my dad got into a fight at dinner? You always talk to me about Sonic the fucking Hedgehog like I would give a shit?
Well, if that's all it takes to date Spiny, then consider me one of your exes too.
I think dating is stupid, and if you do it, you're a bad person.
Now how the hell does that make any sense?
Well, you're lying to yourself and your so-called partner. People aren't meant to spend long periods of time with one another. That's why you find a hobby to drown yourself with.
Well, I think that's an extremely toxic mindset to have.
Like I give a shit what you think, Ignacio.
You don't care what I think? Then why the hell did you invite me to this party?
I don't know. Why did you show up? We clearly don't like each other. Honey, let's just go. We can spend New Year's with my dad, who, by the way, got along with Ignacio immediately, you fucking loser. Still have zero memory of who you or your father are. Wait, did his head kind of look like a spatula? I don't appreciate the comparison, but a little bit. Okay, I remember him. You only met him because of me! Well, shows how much of an impression you make on people, huh? You... let's just leave.
Chcesz po prostu zakończyć tę noc? Spiny?
No, I want to have fun on New Year's. I'm so sick of this being my life. Ah, what now?
Hey, Spiny!
What do you want, Spicy?
I just wanted to check and see if you were going to make an appearance at my party. We would all love to have you.
Define we?
Oh, you know, Matt, Mitzi, Chris, Olivia, Tony, Dr. Howard, Hubert, Dubert, Lubert.
Alright, yeah, I'll be there.
Oh, I am so happy to hear that, Spiny. I have been wanting you to drop by forever.
I need a ride.
I'd be happy to drop by and give you a ride over here. We can take the Spicy Mobile.
No, send Chris.
Well, Chris has had a little to drink, and I don't even drink, so I think it would be best
I want Chris to pick me up. Thanks for showing up to my New Year's party, Chris.
I just left Spicy's party to pick you up. Don't give me a hard time. I swear to God, I will leave you on the side of the highway. Spiny, put that shit down.
Why? We're going to a party.
Not in the car. I really don't need to get pulled over right now.
Fine, fuck you.
Alright. I need something to listen to other than your whining. Talk about something Sonic related.
I thought you said you didn't want me to whine.
Well, just talk about some fan projects. How about that?
Alright, we'll pair up fan projects and IDW just like we did last year. I wish I had more to say about fan projects this year, but the reality is so many of them are so damn good that I'll just end up recapping the same ones from previous years as they're still in production. Like the Sad AM Season 3 project. Love it. Looks like they're making great progress. Can't wait to see it. Will encourage me to do a proper rewatch of the entire series before it's released, but not much else new to talk about. Because again, they're putting their time into it, it's gonna take a while, but I'll always shout this one out before it's released. Same thing with the Sonic Villains fan film. That one looks really neat. It's basically a multiverse story for the Sonic series. But unlike Prime is actually taking different characters from different universes of the series, because there are a lot of different adaptations of these characters. I know we shouldn't encourage everybody to rip off Spider-Verse, but if there's one series that could really do that, Sonic is definitely in the top 5 of them. There's so much weird shit this guy's done. I wish I checked out more fan games this year. There's some with a 2024 release that I can talk about next year, and I'm sure there's some good ones this year that I missed, but I just didn't have the time to
explore everything. But Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit qualified for its own series on this channel, and so will other fan games. Despite how at each other throat Sonic fans can be at times, I do genuinely believe it has some of the best and most creative fans out there, absolutely killing it in the fan game community. It is really cool to be a fan of a series that always has something out there to check out, whether it's official or not. There was that Shadow the Hedgehog short film based on the live-action movies, and I did find that one to be pretty impressive. We've come a long way since the Sonic fan film from 2012. Not to throw shade at that one, I was like the only person who enjoyed it when it got released. I swear to God, the way some people talked about that movie, you'd think they did some horribly offensive shit, but most people were just upset that Knuckles had fingers, and that once again Doug Walker got away with his sins against humanity. Sonic for Hire Season 9 is really taking its time, huh? I promised a follow-up to my For Hire video a long time ago, and still don't have a new full season to talk about. Hope they're able to wrap that one up this year. I'm sure Lowbrow Purchase and now Own in Dorkly has something to do with that delay, and these have been longer episodes with more happening, so I can certainly give them a pass. But still, finish it please. I want to do a follow-up, just finish it. IDW started 2023 by ending our first arc of Surge, and ended by starting our next arc with Surge. Surge is kind of the new evil version of Sonic that they definitely like doing a lot. They even kind of make jokes about it in the story, but I enjoy Surge. I also enjoy Lanolin, who's definitely been promoted from background character to main character. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that happen before. The most notable arc would have to be the one with the Eggperial City, which is mainly just because it's an arc that started and concluded in the same year, with many others bleeding into different years. But it was an overall decent one. The characters got to be present, and they brought back some older things from the games, this time being the Shadow Androids. The city had a neat design, but my favorite aspect was definitely the growing relationship between the new Diamond Cutters. Honestly, the look Whisper gives Tango when she obliviously decides to name their team that might be my favorite panel from the entire year. I really like these three, and I think making Lanolin a permanent member is a good call. Her and Tangle kind of have this Squidward and SpongeBob dynamic, and that's a lot of fun. The key difference being that Lanolin isn't as unreasonable, like she has little patience for Tangle's silliness, but there's usually higher stakes here. There has been some criticism against this character, but I don't really agree with it. I think Lanolin is kind of mean, but it's fun to have a character that's a little mean. And I don't think it's so extreme that she's unlikable. Seriously, what is the issue that people have with mean-spirited characters now? It's always been a thing. I already mentioned Squidward, that's always been a thing. The same thing's fucking happened with Jax and Digital Circuit. Some characters have to act different from other characters. Not everyone should be super nice all the time. That's gonna get so boring so fast. At the end of the day, her and Tangle have a friendship. It's just not like with Sonic and Tangle, where they're gonna get along 100% of the time. Their personalities are a lot more alike. But I personally believe that's how you write a more interesting dynamic, which lends itself to a better story. I always enjoy what IDW has cooking up. My only critique is ever since they finished up the Metal Zombie arc, they rushed through the newer arcs a lot. Probably because people reading that arc month by month were getting tired of it, and made it clear how tired of it they were. So IDW felt pressured to go for smaller storylines. That's just an assumption, but I definitely noticed that happening after the arc. Reading the Metal Virus arc all at once, I have to say the entire thing flowed really well. Reading the Eggperial arc all at once, because I normally do wait a few months to let these issues build up, felt like it flowed a lot less well, like it kind of felt rushed. It was still good, but it feels like a lot more could have happened. But the people writing this comic were too afraid to stay in one location for too long, or focus on the same dilemma for too long. I really hope they take the story that they're setting up with Mimic Far, because that could have some great payoffs, but the build-up needs to be there. The only thing that I think was handled super well pacing-wise ever since the Metal Virus arc would be everything with Dr. Starline, which the comic is saying something about the current status of that character that I do not believe for even a second. But I will say they're taking their sweet time with it, and you know what? I'm fine with a comic taking its sweet time. Obviously, I want the content of each issue to be something worth reading, but an arc can go on as long as it needs to, as long as it's justifying the time. I feel like the Metal Virus arc did justify the time. I hope that this comic will justify the time with Surge, Mimic, and anything else to come out in the future.
Holy crap, it's the guy who talks about Sonic! The video game, not the restaurant.
What a weirdly specific thing to make videos on.
What do you want?
Hey, are you gonna make a video on Sonic Superstars?
I just did, leave me alone.
Oh, what about the Final Horizons update in Sonic Frontiers?
Oh, you want my thoughts on Final Horizon? It was fucking hard and it pissed me off. I looked up the new ending online and thank God I did. The ending's almost identical to the original. It looks like it could be a lot of fun if you actually practice and got the hang of it. I haven't really gotten to that yet. For a casual player, I think Final Horizons is horrible, but if you're really committed to learning this game and how it functions completely, I think you're gonna have a great time with this one. I think I will have a great time with it in the future. I am not there yet, though. I really like that Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are playable again. Is that good enough? Do you want to hear more? Wait for the last call if you want to hear more. Please leave me alone now.
Well, what about Sonic Dream Team?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I would have an opinion on Dream Team if it wasn't exclusive to an overpriced shitty phone. No! Stop showing gameplay. Cut back to me. I like this series, but I don't have an opinion on every single aspect of it, alright?
Well, what about Sonic and Friends?
I'm not talking about fucking Sonic and Friends. Why would I talk about TikToks designed for your toddler?
I mean, you did do Schoolhouse, like, not too long ago.
Oh, wow, you clearly watched that fucking video.
Yeah, I don't blame Spiny for not talking about that junk. It's really not helping people trying to make the point that Sonic isn't for kids.
Yeah, no, I think you're a fucking idiot too. Sonic's an appealing character to children. He's always been branded to children. Jesus Christ, you fucking people.
I like to see it as quote-unquote general audiences.
Children are included in general audiences.
Well, I just think it sets a negative precedent for the future growth of the franchise.
Could you just admit that you like something kinda childish? Just have a healthy media diet. Check out other games and TV shows that are aimed at an older demographic while still enjoying some of the more childish entertainment. You can be a fan of SpongeBob and The Sopranos at the same time. It's fine. Anyone who gives you shit for that is a dick. I agree with that. But what I find especially childish is being so insecure about liking a thing that you can't admit the younger demographic exists.
Okay, but, like, not everyone thinks like that, Spiny.
I know not everyone does, but enough of you do.
Well, Spiny is drunk and ranting about Sonic again.
He seems a little more heated than usual.
Now me, I have a healthy media diet. I mix the blue fucking rap for dumb idiot babies and the mature lawyer show, and that proves I'm a real man. You know, I saw Citizen Kane, and I didn't think it was that boring. I mean, I thought it was a little boring, but like, I finished it. Which proves I'm a real man.
Maybe we should go talk to him. Spiny, you doing alright, buddy?
Clearly.
You don't seem fine.
Oh, we've got fucking mental expert health over here, Matt.
You're being a fucking asshole, Spiny.
Alright, let's just settle down for a second.
I am being real.
Hey, Spiny buddy, you doing okay?
Oh, I was doing a lot better 2 seconds ago when you weren't over here.
Spiny, that really hurts, man. I don't know what I did to you, but I've been trying to fix it for a long time now.
Oh, you don't know what you did? No, that's probably how most of you feel right now, huh? Nobody gets why Spiny's upset. He's just like this. He's just a problematic person, ain't he?
Okay, what did we do to you, Spiny? We didn't show up to your dumpster? The one that is frankly inconsiderate of you to keep inviting us to?
Inconsiderate?
Yes, you act like we're being bad friends. We don't want to get sick, man. And you know damn well you decided to throw a New Year's party after Spicy announced his. You would have never done that if he wasn't doing one. We love you, man, but take a second to see how you're behaving.
What I see is people who I consider to be my closest friends siding with this phony piece of shit who's part of a family that abandoned me! Tony reached out immediately. I still love you, man. But the rest of you, well, I don't even know where to begin. The only reason I act like I'm okay with my brother is because I wanted to have some sort of relationship with my nephews and niece. To have some family still involved in my life. But we all know how that went. I know how you all feel about me. And you. Always trying to act like you're my buddy. Always trying to act like you did nothing wrong. You cut me off just like everyone else, man. You took what I taught you about making videos and went off to achieve every goal I ever dreamt of within a few fucking months. A few fucking months, Spicy. And now you think shoving that success in my face and taking the family I found on my own? You think that is supposed to make me like you, Spicy?
Spiny, I was 8 years old when your family kicked you out. I didn't really know what was going on. I was just told not to contact you, so I didn't. When I got older and understood things better, that's when I started trying to be your friend again. Because you really did mean a lot to me when I was a kid.
Oh, nice fucking try, Spicy. I got kicked out when I turned 18, so I mean all of that happened 10 years ago.
Spiny.
Oh. I've been an adult for 10 years. You were seriously 8 when that all went down?
Yes.
How old were you when you tried getting back in touch with me?
Like 12, I think.
Ah. Well, that is a really bad look for me, huh?
Hey, buddy. I know after what tonight's been, I might not be the first person you want to see. It's fine, you can sit with me, or float. You even have legs in that thing? Yeah, but they don't really do me that good considering how many hours a day I spend sitting here. I'm wasting my entire life. Nah, you're not wasting your life, Spiny. You just ruined someone's party. Not everyone can say that. I am just burning bridges every chance I get. I mean, you know that. You saved my life when the Piranha Brothers attacked. And I still treated you like shit. Well, perhaps some of that is warranted retaliation. Besides, I'm much better at being a dick than you are. Yeah, you see, I don't think I'm really a dick, though. I think I'm something much worse. I'm not really a functioning being. I have so many problems I don't deal with, and then I just drown myself in the media I consume instead of having a real conversation with someone. Or any real moments in my life. Do you not want to talk about Sonic anymore? It's not just Sonic. It's everything I talk about. Like I said, the media I consume has become my personality. And the second it's time to deal with something even remotely real, well, you just got to see a good display of how that goes down. It's either that or nothing. I suppose, but hey, maybe you just need to balance things out a little better. I don't think the media you consume is bad. Okay, I mean, I think Sonic is pretty fucking bad. But I don't think it's bad that you enjoy it. I don't think it's bad that you've used it as a way to connect with other people. Talking about hobbies or art that you like leads to talking about a lot of other things. I've seen your channel, Spiny. There's no lack of that. Then how come you try to make me feel like shit so often for doing this? Dick, remember? Doesn't mean I've got nothing nice to say about you. Thanks. So what do you say? Another year about talking about a blue rat, and occasionally a very handsome and wise lawyer? Maybe a web show or two? Yeah, I think another year of this would be fun. Another year of this would be fun. Happy New Year's, Dr. Howard. Stupid shit, fucking dumb piece of shit, fucking ass, shit, piece of fuck, shit. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate video games. I fucking hate Sonic. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. This is the worst experience imaginable. Oh, yeah, I got it. Good game.
Wow, Spiny, masz na sobie bieliznę. Wiesz, ubrania nie są dla ciebie złe.
You got that right, Agorky. This is the year where I wear underwear in all of my videos. This is a permanent part of my character's design. I will always be drawn with underwear on now. This is the year of the underpants. By the way, I saw Sonic Prime Season 3 and found it very inspiring. From now on, every single last call will take place in one location. This video took me way too fucking long to make, so one background for the remainder of the series.
I live my life in a permanent brain fog. I just believe you when you tell me I'm wrong. And I'm easy to convince like a drug dog. I live my life in a permanent brain fog. And I'm sorry for complaining, I just want some respect. It's all of the men that can tell me to regret. And I'm tired of waking up feeling nauseous every day. And I want to tell you, but I know what you would say. And I heard you tell your friends that I'm sad constantly. It's what you never realize is you're always talking to me. I can put it in a song, but you be singing along. And your terms of skeptically saying, is this about me? I live my life in a permanent brain fog.